All right, good evening, everybody. We're a couple minutes behind, but we'll get started. Welcome to the regularly scheduled August meeting of the Franklin Township Historic Preservation Advisory Commission. This meeting has been properly noticed in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975. This meeting will be recorded for rebroadcast on the Township's YouTube channel. And with that, I call the meeting to order. I will start with attendance around the table. We'll start with Bob LaCourte. Here. Nancy Hohenstein. Here. Myself, Andrew Burian. Dominic Stanzione. Here. Anthony Gannon. Here. And Patrick Shabala. Here. So we do have a full quorum with our staff person, Vince Dominic. We have a few things to get through tonight, so let's get right to it. 62 Laurel. A fence replacement? Come on.
What do I do? Sit down.
Have a seat. We're formally
Never
informal.
been to a historic meeting before. My first.
So tell us a little bit about your house and your project.
So the fence that was there when we bought the house last year is falling down, so the neighbors want us to replace it. Apparently it was put up by somebody in that house before us. But it's a 7-foot tall fence, so your fence recommended a 6-foot tall fence, so it's exactly the same except for 1 foot shorter, and it's just a replacement.
And it's going in the same exact spot, and it's exactly the same?
I think it's going exactly on the property line and in the same exact spot, and it looks exactly the same, only new.
So, I'm sorry, I should have started with this. What is your name, just for the record?
Joanne.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So in the photos you submitted, this is the existing fence, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yep.
And then
there's two sides.
Just two sides of that.
Back and the front.
And that's a 7-foot fence, and then this is what you want to replace it with, this stockade fence?
Yes.
So it's the same
6
exact
feet
style?
tall.
That's just on the one side?
I think it's the side in the back, but I could be wrong.
That's where it says, because on the survey it says chain link fence on one side, and there's wood fence on the other side.
And the back has half a fence. So like this is wood fence here,
Okay.
and that is wood fence.
And that's what you're replacing?
Yes, exactly what is there, and then the chain link is just.
Okay.
Okay. This is pretty straightforward. Anybody have any questions? No? Any conversation on this before we open to the public? Seeing no additional questions or comments from the commission, is anybody from the public want to make any comment on this application? Nobody's coming forward, so does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I was waiting for you, Bob.
So the court is, the motion is to accept as submitted.
Second.
And second is Shimano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That was easy, thank you.
So now what do I do next? Sorry.
Put the fence up.
Yeah, have you submitted for your zoning permit?
Yeah, I did that before this.
And I will tell them tomorrow, so you're approved. You can install it whenever you want.
Oh,
And
awesome.
thank you for being very easy.
That was super easy, great. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Great, thank you. Next application for this evening is 4 First Street. Anybody here from 4 First Street? Come on down.
The long lost Mr. Lee.
Been a while, sir.
How you doing? For the record, Peter Lanford appearing on behalf of Mr. Rossback, who is the property owner. Very briefly, we have a pending application before the planning board tomorrow night to subdivide the property in question. There's an existing house on the property. We're going to be proposing to build a new house. Mr. Rossback lives there with his wife and 3 kids. He's going to build a new house for himself and then either sell or rent the existing house. The house itself is located 725 feet from the canal. It is not visible The proposed house is not visible from Easton Avenue, let alone the canal. There are two houses on First Street prior to reaching this property. If you look up Maxwell Street, which is across the way, again, it is not visible from Maxwell Street, so we can describe the house and everything, but as far as the impact on the canal, it will not happen.
This is the documents we're missing, right?
Yeah, it's a little missing.
All right. You don't have a copy with you, do you?
What do you need?
Everything.
Vince lost it.
Jesus, I guess, they talk or nothing, you know. Here is a set of the subdivision plan, which, and I have another one, so I can pass, I think I have another one with me.
So is this subdivision, is it subject to any variances or any other requirements, or is it straightforward?
Well, there are two variances. The lot is 16, the new lots are 16,000 square feet each, which is the prevalent lot size in that area. And the property has a pipeline going through it, so the house will be less than 100 feet from the pipeline, so that requires a variance. I have another. That's a survey. That's just the plot plan.
Is there a location plan, Pete, in this package that shows in relationship to the canal, or it's just a general plot plan?
If you look at the first page,
Because we have Easton Avenue between this and the
Oh, here
canal.
you go.
if you
Oh,
look,
there we go.
let me walk over there. Perhaps. This is basically Easton Avenue. This is the property. There's houses right in here. And
So, I'm going to say something bold, but I want to look it up in Google Maps first.
okay,
Where's the pipeline from through there?
the pipeline, as you see, runs right through the property on this side. And the proposed subdivision,
Oh, I see, okay. So flat, back.
yeah, the existing house, the new house, and
So we're here. Right? That's pretty much where it is.
yeah,
This is Easton Avenue,
yep,
and then this is Rutgers Prep over here,
yes.
and there's some houses over here,
Rutgers Prep,
Yeah.
down here, right?
well, Rutgers Prep owns these houses over here.
Right, they own these houses.
Yep,
And this is a little bit up on the bluff, right?
yep,
And there's absolutely zero visual impact from the canal or the Easton Avenue corridor. Right, so we're up right there.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I'm going to say something that I've never said before, but I don't think we need to look at it.
No.
It falls within the district, but Easton Avenue is a funny animal for us, because we draw a very straight line all the way across, that all encompassing from the canal. But this, to me, has no impact on any of the historic resources. But that's up to discussion, that's just my
I would agree.
2 cents.
I agree.
Absolutely.
How about the house that's on the property? Anything, or is this a regular house?
it's a regular
It's a
house.
regular ranch.
Well, the house goes,
1958, 60.
Okay.
definitely historic.
I know there was a big one in there, around
Hey,
that area.
it is
Big
by
one.
definition historic, but...
Vintage, should be vintage.
So Vince, the property subdivision is not, they have the variances that Mr. Rampart described, but there's nothing that's going to impact potentially saving the house. So if this was a normal application, we would have to parse this out for a demolition request, then a subdivision request, and then a new construction request. But my determination, based on where it's located, is it's outside of our, resources that I'd be concerned with.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
So the applicant gets to pay Pete some legal fees for tonight, and you get to go home. So I would say on this,
This recommendation.
is this a recommendation of zoning?
Yes.
Planning board. So the recommendation for planning would be that we take no action on this application. Everybody agreement with that?
Yep.
Yes.
Anybody have any public have any questions or comments on this application? This one's like rapid fire, it's good. No? All right. Anybody want to make a motion as such?
I will, since I'm gonna see it tomorrow night.
Actually, I'm not sure that you should.
No, he can.
You can?
He's wearing different hats. He'll tell you if you're wearing separate hats, you can.
All right, so we have a motion, the court, do I have a second?
Second.
Ooh, Pat, you're on fire tonight. And then, the note on this one is that HPAC takes no action on this application.
Vince,
I'm going to send an email to Mark right
Good,
now.
thank you.
So that,
Thank you.
as we're sitting,
So I can't change my mind?
so I don't forget tomorrow.
See what I came up with? It's pretty nice. All right, awesome.
All right.
Easy peasy. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you staying for another one?
Yep.
Wow. All right, next application is 2414 Millstone Valley Fire Department, located at 2365 Amwell Road. This one will not be as easy. How you doing, Mitch?
Pete Lamford again appearing on behalf of the Millstone Valley Fire District Department. This is an application to construct a pole barn on the property to the right side of the property as you are facing it furthest away from the Delaware River Canal. The pole barn is necessitated as a result of some recent issues in the canal where now this fire company needs to store equipment, basically for life safety issues, in case there are problems in the canal, which they've had to undertake rescues over the past few years. Mitch has prepared the plans. We have the architectural renderings. This project is being solely funded by the fire company who has to take a mortgage to build this building. Mitch has already been to the Delaware Canal Commission, who's reviewed this project and has recommended approval of it, subject to Franklin Township and county approval, which we do not yet have. I can have Mitch now explain in more detail the project.
Yeah, Canal Commission will come to us since we're certified local government. So, their blessing is nice, but that doesn't mean anything for the sake.
Understood. So it's the 2-acre property, the existing firehouse. I have an aerial here as well.
Is there a site plan?
Yeah, there is one.
We submitted that.
That's not,
Not part of the package.
it's the Reynolds Group logo underneath there.
Second file.
There we go. Printed extra.
You can have one.
That was what we rolled.
There's one for that end of the table.
Yeah.
Take two, that's free.
Yeah, and if you want to pass around, this is the exhibit that we did, even though you guys have your review, obviously, for the DNR Canal Commission, that shows a picture of the existing building. So basically, it's a 2-acre lot. As you're facing it on the parking lot is on the left side, or the west side, and it wraps around to the back and behind the building. The driveway basically to access the doors for the emergency vehicles is straight ahead off the road. There's county property around it to the north and east, And the industrial, you can really see in the aerial, that big old industrial property is between us and the canal. So again, visibility of the canal is cut off by that building. Surrounding, you do have the older single-family houses across the street, and the Catholic church is across the street. And proposed, which would be on the next sheet. Is it what's? You see it, okay, yep. Yeah, that's it. So basically, a pole-barn type building, 2,884 square feet. And for, so on nights like tonight, it's for rescue boat and other equipment. And that's what's proposed. As we said, we submitted to the planning board. Canal Commission looked at it from their jurisdiction. We're about 300 feet of the canal.
Okay.
The colors, we went back and forth, two things with the Canal Commission, a lot of drainage, we worked that out with them. The second, where they had questions on the colors also. Again, you know, we have some historic and architects on this committee. We have plenty of reps from the rescue company here. Fire department, they can, you know, chime in also. But these are the choice at this time for the colors on the addition versus what's on the existing.
Did you, in the site plan process, did you consider any other locations on the site for this building? I understand the need for proximity directly to Amwell Road.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm going to be very blunt. It's not an appropriate building. And I'm wondering if site plan could have hit it better.
So
It's a prefabricated metal building, it is what it is. But, you know, you have kind of a classic firehouse, and then you have, you know, a small warehouse building next to it. So, I mean, Mitch, did you look at other site plan options?
Yeah, so basically on the back side, that's in the back corner, there is when you pull out all the flood hazard lines and the DNR canal setback lines, that's kind of that back section and these guys can talk for appropriate, they need to get rescue, they need to get out. You know, that's a priority on this site. We even looked at one point about putting it behind the other and pulling it through.
Right.
And it just, functionality-wise, there's a grade change there. It doesn't look like it, but when you look at the slopes, there's a couple feet drop off here.
Is it a significant cost difference doing this prefabricated building versus doing some kind of addition that's more sympathetic to?
6 to 7 times more money if you already looked into it.
What about just doing the facade of this differently so that it ties in better with what is there?
We looked
Even the rest of the building.
We looked into the facade. It is possible. It is a great cost change to us. And being a volunteer organization, we do get some money from the town, but we are saving our own money and raising money to build a building for the town for life safety out of our own pockets.
Yeah. But believe me, we're very sympathetic to that. That's what makes these kind of applications challenging, because it's a shoestring budget, but such a benefit for the community, it's inarguable. And you know, we know what you're doing, we know what you want to do. It's just tough.
If we change the colors to meet more of a barn color to match the area. I know there's a red barn up the road. We turn it to red and white to make it more visually, as you pass, look like a barn next to the firehouse than a metal building. Would that be more suitable in your eyes to make it a little more appealing?
The barn up the street would be the Mettler barn, the horse farm. This looks like you go and get your oil changed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's a vehicle bay. I mean, that's what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna look at it as a temporary measure.
It doesn't match the firehouse though, Andrew.
Oh, I know.
Kind of
bricky, reddish, varnish.
I mean, and the other problem is if you did do it, let's just, argument's sake, you make it another very large gable-fronted, brick on the bottom building right next to it, then you're like kind of at a scale to each other, then they're competing in a different way.
Yeah. I'd almost like to see it like as a bordered batten kind of a facade.
Well, I mean, it basically is, it's vertical.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
I was thinking if they
it's
painted
vertical metal
red,
panels.
Maybe a different color would be,
and they have
would
the,
help.
That wasn't a attempt, we had talked about several of those, let me see, I mean, there are, hang on a second.
You're looking at this, you're looking at this with base.
So I just,
Different doors.
I do want to go back to one of the leading things that you said as part of your presentation, that it's not visible from the canal. It's not all about the canal, it's also about East
Right.
Millstone and protecting the character of East Millstone as a
I
village.
understand that.
Yeah, we do, and that's why I did mention the houses across the street, the Calvary Church, we realize
No,
that.
it's a main piece of that.
The barber's like right there, right? Yeah. Have to peel her up the ceiling.
As far as colors,
Okay.
this is the company, I don't have a board, but the red is pretty bright red. There
Yeah, I don't
is
know if you
the-
wanna do that.
Yeah, there is the everlasting, that one, which isn't quite as red.
So what color is this? Is this that blue Aragon or?
That is
Slate
slate
charcoal.
gray and charcoal. We chose those
Okay.
colors because the actual surrounding of the building, besides the brick facade in the front, is gray vinyl siding and gray painted concrete block down the one side.
Okay.
So we tried to make it blend in with that so it wouldn't be such an eyesore as you saw going down the road.
These kind of buildings actually, when you make them darker, they stand out even more. You almost want them to be white and just make them go away.
Right.
Pat, you can see this from your bedroom window, what do you think?
Yeah, I kind of echo what you guys say. It's a little,
I'm actually even curious, Mitch, did you guys even look at sliding this back in relationship? Because you're holding this proud line to the front of the existing firehouse. If you pulled it back so it felt more like an accessory building,
and spinned it around so the doors are,
that's actually not a bad idea. I mean, even if you did the doors this way.
Yeah, there's no turning room to get access coming out.
I mean, even if you brought that front side back, you know, to here, bring it back, 15 feet or so.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just looking where the drop off is there, but it's not.
Because I guess you're doing underground stormwater detection here.
Yeah,
And you got, what, an outlet over here?
correct.
So you're looking
But it
for
wouldn't be
gravity.
back where the slope is more on the parking lot. This would just be in the lawn area pulling back.
The lawn still slopes.
It does,
what is this,
yeah.
dump here, not have a pond or anything?
But what if,
Pretty flat right there.
but what if it was split, the stormwater system was in the front, and then this was pushed back? You could do those under paving.
Believe me, we looked at that stormwater 12 different ways and worked with the Canal Commission. It's just with the bad soils here and their restrictions on here. Could it go back? I mean, we can look at that. There's some slope.
The issue is the approach on and off of the pad. If we flipped it around, went out the back, we would not be able to make the swing with the apparatus. Off the front gives us the ability to back in and off the pad without changing the entrance onto Emerald Road, which is a major on-take.
Sure.
This keeps the original pad of what's existing there and just adding on a side bump out, which then doesn't disturb traffic or anything on the roadway for the county.
And you're putting your boats in here?
Boat,
The Argo?
our side-by-sides, our drones, our support vehicles. There's a lot of things that we need to get into that building, because right now our firehouse is overloaded and there's alleyways to walk around things. And this has been an ongoing thing, and like Mitch was saying, dealing with the Canal Commission, we went back and forth with the drainage systems multiple times, and at one point, they said we couldn't do it, and they worked together, and I guess Mitch said 12 times he did that.
I think it's probably the same height. This is probably not that scale.
It would give them, clean this up a little bit, because it would give them better angle. Ow. right?
If you also look at the drawing, there is a giant Christmas tree in front that's gonna block that building.
And Mitch and I were just talking, I think the other thing, there is a little room in front that we can put some additional landscaping
100%.
to screen
Yeah, I
the
was gonna go there too.
What happens
Yeah,
if they
I
put
can-
small awning windows across the top and maybe paint the battens another color? Would that look too busy?
I think it would. I think you want this thing to disappear. I don't think you want to call attention to it.
Well, I've seen one of these barns on South Middle Bush Road that was red. And that's where that church is going up, or that temple, where that old house burned down on
Snyder's?
South Middle Bush
Yeah,
Road, right by
where the
Snyder's.
barn-
Yeah.
where the barn
There
used to be?
Yeah, there used to be a red barn there,
Yeah, it was a
and it
Dutch-
was a metal barn.
No, it was a Dutch barn. It was a wood.
There was
barn.
2 barns there. There was a wood barn in the back, and then there was a metal barn. And they sold both of them, they dismantled them. So maybe if they have windows in there, and do paint it some type of a red or a rust color. Like, they said it looks like a warehouse, which is true.
They're pushing for it.
Like it's not
I mean, it's
part of that.
it's just too engaged, you know?
Yeah, that's a big.
There's a huge driveway now, it's double,
Here.
51 and then another 51 feet, it's like a landing strip.
Yeah.
This is not this, right?
This is just a sample.
But so it would be.
This is what you're looking at
Right,
here.
you look at that. That's right. you're looking at
Look
that.
at this.
Flood happened.
Similar to what they have.
Yeah, but we're, I mean, 10 feet is.
Is it, yeah, is there flexibility to match the doors?
Yeah, those doors are identical to what we have now.
Well, you got
Oh, the double windows, yeah, we can do the double windows,
And then what
yes.
about, color on the doors? Are you doing white doors? Are you doing gray doors?
White doors. It's gonna match exactly what the doors, this drawing is from the, pole barn company.
Okay.
The doors are gonna match exactly what's there.
Okay, yeah, because if you did the double windows here, like you have on your
Yeah, they do have windows in
firehouse,
Yeah,
there.
the
that would be a
doors-
nice way of kind of pulling that together too.
And this building that we are, trying to build is actually the same height as this. There's no difference, it's not gonna stick over it, it's not gonna be lower, it's gonna look identical in the front.
Okay.
The existing building, I believe, is 60
This is
feet.
the front face. So you got-
Right, okay, so.
Basically, that's.
Yeah, I believe it's got a triangle
Across.
across. This is basically, if you take the 2 bays, that's exactly what we're putting.
Okay,
We wanna
and
put
it's all
there.
the same height?
Yeah,
This is 20, what, that's 24
This in
feet?
itself is utility.
What's the?
Yeah, it's 60.
Right,
I
but
mean,
it looks like a
What
fire.
are the heights of your
If you
firehouse
could
is now?
slide this back,
See it on the-
so that
Like,
disengaged
like
front
taller than
face
24.
gives relief.
It may be.
And if they could do just one
20,
little
29
work, so they did
is
here.
existing.
Okay, yeah, I actually kind of like that this would be shorter than the new building.
Yeah, the proposed is actually 23.
2311, so now-
2311.
So Don, what I was just saying over there is, if the building could be pushed back, and it disengages the front elevation,
Yeah,
and hear me out on this. I know it's money, and I'm sorry to say it, but what if,
You can write a check.
what if we took this in itself, I heard that, I'm not a lawyer though. This is a very utilitarian box building to begin with, and it's got brick on one face. What if they did the same kind of veneer to the same point, just to the bottom side of the gable?
yeah.
And push it back, do the brick veneer on one face, do the rest of it as, you know, white or off-white metal. And I think it would be somewhat okay. I know that's adding cost, but,
Can I ask a question on this?
Yeah.
You were saying off-white or white, the front of the firehouse top is gray, that's slate gray.
yeah, match that.
So if we put, okay.
Yeah, match
Go back
that.
and see what the cost is, I don't know. It adds a lot, I know that, that's why we went with what we had.
And I would say.
It's not a lot of square footage though. I understand it adds cost, but when you take the fact that you got your openings, right, you got your 2 bay openings, we're just saying to surround around the doors to that line, just like this is.
So like, if you're saying that you're about the same height, you're the same width as that, you're probably looking at.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, something like one of those lines.
Like this, right? And
So-
we're just talking about,
That's it. And it could even be a synthetic brick at that point, whatever is more affordable.
you know, and this could all be brick here.
What happens if they have the same
And
garage
we can
doors?
push that building back.
That's what you're saying, is that's the garage
Yeah.
doors.
That would be great too, yeah.
That would help a
And
lot
then,
in
Andrew, I
terms
would
of
say the upper fascias
scale of
too,
things.
To match.
to match.
match,
One,
right.
one is vertical, one is horizontal.
Yeah, with that same little vent up on the top. That'll blend it right in.
The little roundel.
Yeah, the round window, or whatever it is.
I don't even know if it needs that, but you're right.
It'll
wouldn't
blend
hurt.
it in, it'll help for the appearance in the,
I mean, we're not,
in the
we're-
district.
we're trying to be sympathetic to the cost. We just gotta make it,
Incorporate.
Yeah, so I guess we're trying to balance, speak for you guys, so there's a cost shoving it back and there's a cost with the brick and all. I mean, it's,
what's the cost of shoving it back?
with the grade change and dealing with the drainage was just very difficult.
I
You
don't
want
think we're
to
talking about shoving it back like 30 feet.
Even with that, we threaded the needle on this. We like our drainage friends at DNR Canal, but some of these small sites, there's just almost no way to do it. We're just in a box.
Are they actually gonna count the porous pavers as impervious?
It counts as impervious, but you get credit for the drainage.
'Cause I've had that fight with them before.
Yeah, most townships don't care.
So, what is everybody else thinking? Hey, Councilman.
sorry, I was coming off from another, I'm thinking of the veneer, like you said, and the gable end to match the firehouse.
You know, we have to
blend in a lot
consider
better.
the entrance to East Millstone,
We do.
and this is totally ugly.
So, I guess where do you want to go with this? Do you want us to vote on it, or do you want to make revisions?
We don't know, well, I think you should vote on it, and the reason I say that is we don't know whether what you're asking us to do is financially viable. And, you know, I hate to say, because we always try to work with you, but if it gets to the point where it doesn't make economic sense for us, we're just gonna go to the planning board, ask for the approval, notwithstanding the fact that you made recommendations that we can't live with, and we'll explain it to the planning board. If,
Does this go
on
to
the other
planning?
hand,
Will this go to planning?
yeah.
Is what we're doing a recommendation to planning?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. On the other hand, if they go back and think they can achieve some of the things you requested, we'll do it. But, you
Well,
know,
I think you're saying, well, what I'm hearing from you is, well, vote on it, because if we don't like the answer, screw you, we're gonna go to the
No,
next
it's not-
level.
it's not screw
And
you.
what I'm saying is, do you want to take an opportunity to look at what the revision costs are, if there are any, and come back?
I could do that.
Okay.
And if the costs are prohibitive, I'm not gonna come back, I'll just tell you they're prohibitive and you're gonna vote and do what you need to do. Again, we respect your position, but
We have a hearing, we don't have a hearing date yet.
now the application hasn't been filed.
Okay, so then that's good. Because then you can spend a
I
month
thought you did.
You know.
figuring it out.
The grade is.
Pete, that's the best thing to do. Spend the next couple of weeks figuring out what to do, then tell us whether you're gonna come back or you want us to vote at the next meeting. I would make the recommendation.
I don't know how long it will take them.
Yeah, however long it takes, it doesn't matter. We meet once
We've
a
got a
month.
little bit of time. But again,
I would,
we don't,
It's not gonna be that much more, just a little veneer here, here, here.
I mean, I'm really talking about, and honestly, after you put the veneer on it, you might not even have to slide the building.
well, that was the question I had,
Well, that's what I was
is,
asking, yeah.
you know, you're asking us to slide the building back, which is an expense, plus put the veneer on, which is an expense. I've also, in talking to Mitch while you guys were talking, I think there's an opportunity to landscape the front of the property, in front of that building, that will also help block the building off. So
We don't like to fully, I appreciate that, but we don't like to rely on landscaping as our solution to things, because deer eat it. It dies, nobody maintains it. I'm not saying that that's gonna be the case, but
No.
that
All right.
constantly happens.
Let us look at it, and then we can either report back through Vince and say, we could do the facade, we can't move the building back, or we could do everything. But,
And I just wanted to say, like, you were here before, and it was an Easton Avenue purview, because 1,000 feet of the canal. East Millstone, it doesn't matter how
Far,
Yeah,
no,
it's East Millstone that we're
Is the
representing
village,
here.
yeah.
We're not representing the canal.
I understand that. And we understand that. And again, if this was a commercial developer with deep pockets, we wouldn't be having this discussion. But unfortunately, these gentlemen work hard to raise the money to build this building. They have to mortgage the property, they don't have all of
We
the
understand
funds.
that.
Yeah, we're very
We
sympathetic to
understand
that.
that. We also have to, we have other people to answer to on this
Yeah.
as well, so.
I agree with you. And so let us talk a little bit. Why don't you carry it till next month, and if we're not ready next month, I'll tell Vince
Yeah,
and we
you
can carry
just,
it.
if you haven't made the application to the board yet,
Yeah,
the timeframe is full, because you're not gonna get to the board for several months, so
yeah.
take as much
The
time as you
application's
want.
actually gonna go in the next day or so.
Perfect,
Okay.
thank
So,
you.
so just to clarify something, this is the fire district, right? But you individually own the property?
The fire district leases the building from the fire department. Millstone Valley Fire Department owns the property, maintains the property, and keeps the property up.
So the township does not own or maintain the building?
No.
It's all within your...
The district rents the building for their apparatus. We raise money, and we've been raising money for years to put this addition on.
So the apparatus, I'm just curious, the apparatus belong to the township, but you...
The fire district, yes.
Got it. Oh, man, you brought us a hard one, man.
Yeah, and again, we understand your concerns. We don't take them lightly, and it's a balancing act, so we're gonna
Right.
go back and look at it.
Even look at the possibility of synthetic earth or some kind of veneer that mimics that. It doesn't have to be
Yeah,
a
we'll
true
go back.
masonry.
Yeah,
I know there's affordable options, and I'm saying affordable, but it still adds cost, and I understand that.
Thanks, Pete.
Okay, thank you. We do appreciate your input. You know, we're not being adversarial, we're...
No, I understand.
We want to make sure it works as best we can.
All right, thank you. So we're gonna table this till the next meeting when the applicant comes back.
Don't throw the exhibits away.
No.
We will,
It costs more money to reproduce.
absolutely.
Yes, seriously.
All right. Thanks, Pete, sorry about that.
Take care. Have a good night, guys.
You got it.
2418 Kingston Presbyterian Church. Are you here? Yes, we are. Awesome. Are you going to start with being a not-for-profit organization?
True statement.
I know. Good evening, and who are you gentlemen?
So I'm Brad Clifton, I'm the treasurer at the Kingston Presbyterian Church. I've been a member there probably over 35 years, almost 40 years.
And I'm Thomas Lee. I'm an architect from Belmead, New Jersey.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your project.
Okay, the members came to me and they had some issues with the back entrance of the church. And what's happened with a lot of these older churches, well, the people used to walk down the street and they went in the front door. Well, now that's not what happens. There's a very large parking lot in the back, and that's where the people come in. A lot of them are driven up to the back entrance, they're let out, and then they can go in. There were some unusual things that took place when this rear addition was done. That was in 1955. And when I looked at the original drawings, the building, the actual addition was up. And when they built it, they put it down so the floors would align in the basement. So they did an entrance on the outside where you step down 2 steps.
That's great for water infiltration.
Well, and there's a lot of problems with that right at the moment. There's a lot of moisture in that entrance. The other thing is there's a nice little standing seam roof on the back of that, but it only covers about half of the entrance where you step down. The doors swing out. It's not a good situation. So what we were after, this addition is not visible from anywhere except coming in from the back at the parking lot. You can't see it from either side. Basically what I've tried to do is make this thing disappear. The mullions for the windows and the roof overhang, the fascia board, that would be white to match what's on the original building now. The glass would be very clear because I literally want this thing to be, people to be able to look through, see the actual building behind it. I don't want to change that material on the inside. And the way it's done, there's a I've tried to keep this thing as thin as possible, a flat roof over this. It overhangs on either side where the doors are. The way you enter around the church, one way comes in, the other goes out. So when somebody pulls up and they drop somebody off, it's right there on one side, and when they pick them up and they leave, it's on the other side.
Real
Other
quick,
thing,
if I could just cut you off for a second.
that is not it.
That is not.
Wrong
And-
picture. That's correct.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the original
This and
elevation.
this. Gotcha.
Yes.
Somehow you got the wrong drawing,
Okay.
the wrong photograph.
Yeah, I was trying to match it up and I'm like, that's
No,
not,
no.
No, that's not right.
not what I'm seeing.
Um,
Okay, so this is what.
So what we were trying to do is get the overhangs out far enough from the glass enclosure so people could get out of the cars, be covered. And also the slate that we're doing in the floor on the inside and outside, that would be heated. So in the winter time, if there's snow or there's rain, nobody has to go out there and take care of it. Okay, it's melted before it ever when it hits the ground. So there's a lot of different issues. To get this thing to work with the floor being level with the outside, you only have literally a few inches that you have to work with. Okay, and then I can get the steps inside, nice handrails, and it works well. And when people pull up, they can actually see the people standing inside when they know they're there and ready to be picked up or when they're being dropped off. That's what we were trying to do.
So is this like a cornier storefront system?
Exactly.
So what is it, the 1 3/4 mullions?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep that as thin as possible. Like I said, if I could get it to disappear, I would. It's kind of hard to put a roof on something and make it disappear.
Sure. All right, so on this plan here, it says Kingston Presbyterian Church, in Township of Ewing, Mercer County, New Jersey.
No, that's the, that's,
It's a mistake that the engineer made.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I was,
probably his
well,
address.
that's where
the
they're
engineers.
located,
Probably
in
his address.
Trenton, New Jersey.
His address,
The
not ours.
engineer.
yeah, but
Yeah, and then it
Oh.
just says in Township of Ewing. Yeah, that,
I thought I was,
it's, no.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I didn't notice it.
Blame Trenton engineers. Okay.
And it really, well, you don't have a lot of room to work with on the backside because you have those entrance and exit. And then there's a little masonry CMU block building on the one side that they use for storage, okay? And there's enough room for a car or a truck to go through, but not much more. And I think it's only like 6'6" off the back of the building.
So if you're trying to make the mullion system disappear, you're gonna do it in dark bronze or something like that? Is that the intent?
No, white,
White.
because everything else, the stucco on the back is kind of a cream color.
And then,
But all the windows, the fascia boards, the rake boards, they're all white.
okay. And then the doors, there, you're moving to the side, are just gonna be standard cornier storefront doors.
They open out, they're glass.
And you're ending it with, is that what you're,
Those windows are there,
existing?
okay, they're existing.
Yeah, so.
Oh, they're behind the
Right.
bushes here.
So they're gonna cut the bushes down,
I see, I see.
and then they're gonna bring the roof across the top.
Oh, over the top
all
of
the way
those.
across. It's kinda nice.
Yeah, I
Door
like
opens
that.
up out into that.
How are you handling the rainwater off the top of this thing?
There's a pitch, like a 1/4 inch per foot, okay? And then the way I've laid it out in some details right now is there is a built-in gutter, okay, on that flat roof.
You don't have a lot of depth to do that.
No. Well, that's, if you look at what I've done with the structural steel, okay, it's trying to make it as thin as possible and then get it out past that main steel beam that carries the overhangs on either side. And then you have a 3-inch tube, square tube, that comes down in the corners of the building.
So it's gonna be interior to the building?
No,
Or,
it's on the outside, but it matches the corner of the glass.
you're gonna wanna put a pretty good head wall flash here.
Yeah.
That's gonna come up more than
You-
you're showing probably.
Yeah, typically what I do with that is I'll have them cut the stucco, bring it up on the outside, then slide it back up, okay, underneath the stucco. And that's how I try to keep it
You
as
gonna do a raglet?
clean. What, again, what I'd like to try to do is take out that stucco. It's typically about 3/4 of an inch. Put a piece of plywood, Walmanized plywood, and then your flashing comes flat and then back in. What you don't want to see is above this flat roof, a piece of flashing this high.
You get counter flashing on it no matter what you do though.
Right. No, I'm very aware of that. The details all the way through this, I mean, every little 1/4 of an inch has to be detailed out. So
Yeah, it's a little jewel.
it
These are the
works.
fun projects.
Yeah.
One architect to the other.
All right.
I see what they're doing here. It kind of makes sense to me, with, at least with what they're trying to do. Like you mentioned, you know, years ago you'd go in the front door, and nowadays people are lazy and they go in the easiest and quickest egress they, you know, they can get in.
Do you even open the front doors
We
now?
do open the front doors, it's open on 27, as
Get
you
an
can
air,
see.
get-
It's
get a
a busy
breeze.
road, there's not much parking, so you might get 3 or 4 people that park on 27 and they come in the front door. Or there's
Are you
One
doing?
side door, and there's a lift on the other side. We converted one of the staircases in the front to a lift, and we have handicap parking on the other
Right
side
there.
near the lift. So
Yeah, it's shown on the
they
side.
come in the front of the building, but they don't come in the front door. They come in the
Right.
lift or the other side door usually.
Are you gonna do some kind of recessed light at each of the opening sides?
All the lights inside and out, they're like a 3-inch LED downlight. I don't know, I don't want to add anything else to the building, okay? I want to keep
Yeah,
it
no,
as
low
clean as
profile.
possible, so you don't.
Makes sense.
Are you getting rid of that floodlight?
Yes, that'll
That's
disappear.
nice.
Also, I'm from Montgomery Township, and we have a very strict dark skies policy in Montgomery. So we've never allowed too many light fixtures on the outside of buildings. So,
Thank you for taking such great care with this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is extremely well done and well thought out.
thank you.
Yeah, what was your name again?
Thomas Lee, L-E-E.
It's a lot of work for a little rest.
All right, cool.
It's a beautiful building. It's doing a
Oh, I
good
went
job.
over here. I can find it.
Because
All right.
this could have looked hideous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
I mean, it really.
It already does.
And we've seen some hideous vestibules before.
I'm a little concerned about the white mullions but I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, everything else in that.
Lenny architects.
Yeah.
It's every little detail, right? Every
Well,
little square.
Every little detail.
I mean, we could eliminate the mullions and do duck glazing. How do you feel about that?
I think it actually needs something to
To anchor it?
anchor it down
I was
and,
there the other
yeah.
day, and that's the real color, as opposed to this pinkish clay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Nice. All right. Anybody have, that was very thorough. Thank you for taking us through that. Anybody have any questions or comments?
I'm good.
No additional questions or comments. Anybody from the public have any questions or comments on this application? Seeing as the public comes forward, does anybody have a motion on this application that's not named Bob
I
Recorder?
I'll make a motion to accept. Great job.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you. Thank you. I love seeing hand drawings. You don't get that very often.
Right?
I still do everything by hand.
Great job.
Fantastic.
How I got involved with the Kingston Church was through Haiti. And they have a member or a past member who is a doctor in Haiti, and that's where I started meeting people at the church, because I do her buildings down in Haiti. So, interesting community there.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Take care, thanks.
All right. 4513 Route 27. This is new siding, window shutters, restoration of front facade. Come on down.
I love applications like that. Just notice everything right. You don't have to.
Everything's thought out already.
Everything is listed, unlike some information out on TV.
Let's see. 27. And your name for the record, sir?
I'm Craig Deutsch. I'm the architect for the owner here, Giovanni.
Craig, you've been here before.
I have.
And, I'm sorry, the owner?
Giovanni from here.
Okay. So, tell us about your project.
For some history, Giovanni and his wife have owned this property for some time. They had some tenants in there over some time, and those tenants have moved out, and they now want to restore this house for their own personal home. We are here before you this evening to talk about the restoration of the front facade, and the sides of this building, and what we're planning to do in that regard. We did some research and found some older photos from the Historical Society of Princeton, which we believe is the home that actually had at one point an addition on the side of it. So with that information, and I think we're pretty much on, sans the chimney systems and so on, we basically geared our drawings off of that. What is on the home right now is aluminum siding over a old clapboard.
Basically, not PVC.
PVC siding over the vinyl, basically, over the old clapboard, and the clapboard was originally held, connected to full cut studs of the nature of the construction type that would happen.
So you're saying this portion of the house from here over does no longer exist?
No, correct.
You know, that's probably the original part of the house.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And then that became the addition. By the size and scale of the windows, you can see you got the 9/9.
Usually they build this quickly, build their barn, then they build the estate.
Yeah, I was thinking
Because the barn makes money. Okay.
So what we have left is the main part that we have there, or the second half of the later part of it. Still built in the same structure that it was, full cut timbers. On the inside face, the clapboard was originally put up right up on the structure that is there. There's not, 16 inches on center. They didn't build that way back then. You got 30 inches, 32 inches with lead-in structural supports going back and forth. The clapboard is basically, in this case, completely deteriorated. It's been covered by a poly vinyl. We want to take everything back down to the studs that are there, reinforce any studs, put up plywood to make sure the building's structurally sound, and then come back and put up a cementitious siding in the same fashion, size and scale of what was there before.
So like a hardy plank?
Hardy plank, exactly.
Smooth finish?
Yes.
No impressions?
No impressions, a smooth finish on it. And then the windows, we want to replace them in, again, 4x4s, as in the drawings that are there, new shutters.
Operable shutters or decorative shutters?
No, they're going to be decorative. The dental moldings that are up there, restore them as best we can, fill them in the ways that need to. Some of them are pretty rotted out. There is an integrated gutter system that's part of that roof system that's there. We want to maintain that.
Is it a Yankee gutter or is it?
It's a Yankee gutter. And the drawings represent that stuff. What we also would like to do is in that front porch, restore that front entrance. And we'd like to do it in a stone, which would be a big blue stone basically coming across the whole area.
So similar with the
Correct.
they had in there.
Correct.
The wooden wall.
Yep, all the way through in that. Right now they're,
It's just like a wooden deck right now.
yeah, it's,
It was like the whole thing was supposed to replace.
Correct. Correct. That is really for the front facade, and again, on the sides, the same type of thing. The entire house, all the way around the back, cementitious siding, keeping with the side elevations, following the same language of the 4x4s.
Your elevations don't show chimneys.
Correct, because there is no new chimney going in.
Is there existing chimneys?
No.
They've been previously removed?
Yeah. Yep. There's no, from that photo, right, there were 2 chimneys that were there.
They're gone?
Probably
They're not
4.
there.
Oh, wow.
Probably 2 on the other side.
Are there any fireplaces on the inside of the?
No. It's a.
From the basement, you can see the foundation where they used to be.
Yeah.
So we're just doing the facade of the front? Looks like the rest of the house is being worked on as well.
Right, so our presentation here tonight is about the historic
Looks like a
renovation and restoration. We will have to go through a process for full building permits and the zoning for any back rebuilding of the piece in the side.
So some of this work has already started, right?
Yes, we are here tonight based on a violation that showed up. The work had started. Giovanni had started work in there, cleaning things up, and one thing led to the other as he started taking the place apart.
And now the building is completely gutted.
The inside of it is gutted, correct. And
I have pictures of the house. I mean, it wasn't, all the wood in the inside was not out because of the siding how it was installed. It's a really bad installation, the same thing with the heater. The heater under that is all, there's no way that, at one point I was actually thinking of, removing the vinyl siding and putting, like sanding it down and bringing it back to life.
I was trying to restore the
But
wood.
there is no way.
There's no wood to really.
I like the front. I love the front of the house. I love all the white and black, and it will be the same thing. That's what I was saying to Craig. That I love the front. I just want to do like a it's a nice house.
So what's this proposed gravel parking area back here?
So these drawings that you have here, these were civil drawings that were presented to the township some moons ago. This gravel parking lot is not in place, am I correct?
This is, I have owned this property for about 5 years now. Probably longer than that. I want to say 6 years. It used to be, like where when I bought it, people used to park trucks in there. So I bought it mainly for my landscaping business, I own a landscaping business. And then I also turned it into a farm, which right now we're going, we're on a farm assess with the town, and that's why we have the gravel parking lot, because we grow a lot of our own trees, plant our own trees,
Okay.
That's what also, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this area, but on the back, all of these was part of Princeton nurseries. Like if you take some, if you look at some pictures on the back, you can see the rows of trees that were abandoned, like Norway spruces, white pines, magnolias, like nice trees that they were just abandoned when Princeton nursery took off. And
So are you keeping is the gravel area?
the gravel area is there.
Okay.
The gravel area is there.
And that's staying?
Yeah, that's staying.
Okay.
Eventually, the reason why I'm saying is more that this is kind of like my, hopefully my last house.
Okay.
That's why I'm willing to put all the money in there, because I want to have like a, my farmhouse pretty much.
Yeah, I get it.
Which it goes really well with the type of business that I do, which I'm probably not gonna be doing for that long, but at least for another couple of years.
So you're doing, there's a patio in the back and an addition in the back?
Well, yes, that's what those pictures are showing.
Right.
Because what it ended up happening was like, you can see it. I did like a patio.
This out here, this was existing.
So that's already built.
Existing. I want to do a bluestone patio in the back.
Okay, so you did like a cover.
I did a cover on top of it.
So it's not an addition, it's just a.
They consider that an addition because it's part of the roof.
It's just a roof cover.
So what did you demolish here? You demolished a big portion.
The wall, like all the wall is existing.
Okay.
But what happened, like that wall was so bad that I took out, because this was an addition at one point, I guess. I don't think it was part of the original house.
Okay.
So, but that wall, I had to replace it all.
It was all rotted out.
It was all rotted out. I have pictures and all that I can share with you guys. And the house is,
What are these existing windows? Are they vinyl replacements or?
no, like these ones on the back, need construction.
Yeah, there was one
But I mean-
on the front here, like what are the?
Oh, those I don't know.
Those are
Those are
vinyl,
there.
some are vinyl windows, some are not even in windows, they're just storm windows hanging. The back are new Pella windows that were installed.
Yeah.
Like this house, it looked like at one point someone did a lot of things with it, and it was
Right.
like that, because you have the commercial grade, contractor.
Was it like that? Was it a big hole cut? in the
No,
side?
we had to cut that out in order to replace one of the beams.
Oh, okay.
Inside, they rebuilt some of the structure that's there, so we're gonna go through that process with permitting, make sure it's there. Myself as an architect, construction engineer, is going through everything that's been done and getting it up to what we need.
Well, I just want to do on the outside, make it look like it was before.
So, it's playing catch up here, sorry. What kind of windows are you proposing here?
So these are simulated divided lights. whether it's gonna be Keller
Anderson,
Anderson,
400?
yeah, no, a higher level than a 400. To get the simulated divided, Emerson 400, I don't know if they have it. You know, so we're gonna, and again, when I'm saying simulated divided, that means that they're on both sides, put the center glass in there, so it looks like full depth. It's not just inside the thickness of the window. So it looks more appropriate.
You have a mullion projection on the exterior
Correct.
glass.
Okay.
Correct.
What?
The front doors, the wood doors are original, that we believe are there, and we want to restore them the way they are. The transom above it, as we talked about.
So you want to restore the existing front door and the transom. You want to replace the windows with simulated divided light. You're going to do hardy cement, fibrous cement, it's more to right, fibrous cement siding.
Smooth finish.
Good answer. And you're going to do corner boards?
Correct.
Corner boards. And then what are your down leaders and downspouts are going to be round, half round, copper?
Round coming down. I wasn't proposing a copper, but
I don't think the copper will look good with that house.
yeah, I was thinking just a regular white down.
Either white or black.
Yeah, I think I would do white so it just blends into the.
White, but around.
Copper would look great on the house, but it's very expensive.
No, I mean, no,
downspout.
That's what they use.
And then, and you're going to do, you're going to try and redo the Yankee gutters?
Correct. I want to maintain that rack. That's in the front, really only. In the back, it will be a half round gutter that runs around the back of it. It is a flat roof, basically, that's running with internal gutters there.
And then you said you want to try and restore the brackets and dentils?
Yes.
And you're going to replicate in wood what needs to be replaced?
That's our goal.
Were you engaged for this project prior to the demolition starting?
No.
Okay. For shutters, you said the shutters are going to be simulated. And I'm going to tell you that we're going to do panels on the lower and louvers on the top,
That's fine.
because that's what would have been done.
That's fine.
So what is it like the front?
So the louver looks like that, panel's just a flat.
And you're going to make sure the louvers are going the right direction?
We do.
Most louvers, prefabricated louvers, they're actually going the wrong direction.
Right.
Because the louvers would be down when the window's closed.
Closed. And they're not, I mean, they're gonna be fixed open, so we won't have all the hardware on them, we won't have any of that
No
stuff.
pintles?
Is the roof new, or is that planned to get replaced as well?
The roof was replaced recently, am I correct? Mhm.
And what, wrong answer. What is the roof now?
It's a architectural dimensional asphalt roof.
Dimensional shingle
Mhm.
existing. Okay.
Oh, that's how all of this started, because it started leaking from the top. And then we found a lot of rotting wood, and we just kind of kept going and kept going. Next thing we know, the entire house was flooded down. And
Your note 10 doesn't match. Existing molding. Oh, that's a square map, that's a square tab. No.
Yeah, there's two different parts of the way we put
Stone
the,
steps and landing. Okay. And then the treatment on the foundation wall, you're going to do just a parge?
a parge of the existing stone that's there.
What about the hoods over the windows?
Yeah, we'd like to maintain them, or actually, we put them back in the front, so they can, as shown on the drawings. From there, both with sills and the.
Goods and sills.
Mhm.
And then the porch roof, we talked about the dental moldings, right?
Correct,
And then you're gonna do like an EPDM flat roof on that?
correct.
What's with this bump out that's happening? Is there a roof on that?
It's almost a flat roof that's
It's
there,
almost
too.
flat, okay.
Yeah, and then you can see that's an addition too, because it wasn't actually in some of these older photos, and someone must have bumped that out too. So that it's a slender scale of a window there,
Oh, yeah.
so you can see that difference.
Yeah, it looks
They
all good.
bumped it out.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't built like an Oriole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that,
For the balance of the house.
what looks like to be oil heat, I'm assuming maybe hot water heating? Right, hydronic?
So there's no systems in the house right now. So
Well, like, the oil heat wasn't there when I bought the house. So, I don't know.
is gas available?
Yeah, the gas is there.
We would bring gas in and everything before it's there.
Okay, because I see in the front picture here, a metal
Yeah, metal, like.
chimney, B-vent kind of thing.
Mhm.
I'd like to see a little detail on how you plan on doing the front stairs.
I don't have a full construction detail on how those steps are gonna come together. And I could definitely submit
You're
that.
gonna do like the bluestone slabs
Yeah.
Correct.
for the steps? That's all?
Yeah, like I was telling him, why would we do, like, we do this all the time, do a footing, build it with block, yeah, I would do them partial size to match the, the side of the.
Are you doing solid slab steps, or are you gonna do a tread and like a stone veneer on the riser?
I was thinking that it would look nice if we just how just forge it and bluestone thread, like a 2-inch bluestone thread with the rock face on it,
Okay.
all the way around. And then on the landing, I would do kind of like almost like a subway pattern. I mean, I would like picture frame the landing,
Okay.
and then do like a subway pattern with bluestone in the middle.
Gotcha.
Or I could also do random, either way, with those houses, I mean, it was good.
Yeah,
A lot
you
of
can do
difference.
bluestone. You can even do like a recycled bluestone too, where you can get something.
We actually have, with this house that they demo in Princeton, we have a lot of that.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
I always save it.
Yeah, you might even be able to get, like for those steps coming across, you might even be able to get full slabs, that you can just.
Yeah, like full thread, they're the super threads they call it, they're
Yeah,
like 6
Yeah,
inches.
6 inches, yeah.
Yeah.
Solid piece of stone.
Yeah, you can 6 inches by 4.
Yeah, we can get them
Yeah.
and stack them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be, that
Oh,
would be
I
nice.
see what you're saying.
Instead of having, then you just have.
I mean,
You don't have a riser then, you have to actually take
It's
a
a
piece of
big
stone.
chunk,
That's
right?
right.
That's what we do that all the time, all the time.
But you need a pretty big machine to lift the.
We have,
You just need an excavator.
yeah,
I mean, a lot of those old houses will have like a big granite step.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
there
right.
instead, you know?
Mhm.
well, the way that we usually, we still build it with blocks, so that we see them in block. And
Yeah.
then, like, with an excavator with the suction,
Yeah, you have the vacuum?
yeah.
Is it raining?
Perfect. Just like, you just hook it up with that.
Yeah, because one is gonna be like 8 feet wide. 8,
Yeah.
8 or 10.
Yeah, you can even do it with like the 2 pieces too, as long as you stagger the joints.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any questions from that end?
I'm just, I don't know if we see the whole picture. I mean, you got it written out on that list there.
You don't have the architecturals?
Huh?
You don't have the architectural?
No, I have that too, but I'm just saying of all the things that are gonna happen, and just a lot of things going on at this point, and playing catch up. Other than that, with the shape of the house and the condition of the house, I definitely see and sympathize with what you're trying to do.
Except next time get permits.
We're gonna, from now on, that's what we're doing.
I actually wish one of our other members was here, Glenn, partly because they recently put together a book on the history of Kingston, and he had mentioned that this house at one point might have actually been an inn.
that every house I've gone, we're trying to say that
But there was some ties to this house that you mentioned, I wish I remembered.
This is what my neighbor, because my neighbor has lived there for years, and he gave me some pictures too, and, you know, he tells me the story that his house was owned by some guy in New York, that he used to come over here, they used to have like a ballroom on the, because that was a beautiful house. It still is like, if you go and look at it now, it almost like made it, for a farm, but almost like a park. Like, you know, like we planted a bunch of trees, because a lot of trees were dying, but what my neighbor was telling me, his name is Eric, that they used to have like, a lot of people from New York, they used to come when he was little, party, like, they used to have like a nice, you know, like, I don't know what it's called, but like a little, like an outdoor roof area. And he remembers because every Sunday he and his father used to go and clean up the property. When he was only like 5 or 6 years old. And, you know, I mean, I love this area. You know, I grew up pretty much around this area. So you know, I just love that area. It's nice and quiet and nice. It feels like you're in a farm, but you're close to everything. So.
Are you satisfied with what you're describing for the front steps, or do you want to see details? Because I think
It might be nice to see a little bit of detail to show what, how you're gonna put together. And use the slab, but you use slabs.
Would it be okay if I submit that when I submit for my building permits and the rest of the details come about? And
yeah, I think so. So what we would do is, we would do a conditional approval with conditions that those details, additional details are submitted. And I think another thing that we're going to need to see is the location of the site utilities, like where you're putting condensers for your air conditioners.
Okay.
Are you going to screen any of that, stuff like that?
The question, I mean, I know that it might be off topic or whatever. Like, and I'm just saying, because we did that once, with the house, not this house, another house for one of my customers. It's a wall considered a fence?
No, a wall's a wall, a fence is a fence.
No, because like, I'm only asking because that was also like another, like, I was, at one point I was thinking of building like a single wall.
Like
in front of the
like
house.
a freestanding wall?
Yeah, like, you know,
Yeah,
like a
that
stucco wall.
would need to be reviewed.
Yeah. But that's what, I mean, right now that we're here and I'm like, hey, you know what? Because last time that we did it, they counted that as a fence more than, you know, because it was 6 feet high and whatever.
Yeah, if you're doing it, I mean, it depends on the
So
township, but-
typically we,
But and my other question was gonna be, does that count to you guys?
absolutely.
Yeah.
But typically, are you saying that, do that out here, or
On the property,
back
like
here?
a fence?
Like in
So,
the
so
front house.
right at the front?
Yeah, kind of like right in the front.
So typically, we frown upon that, because what we like to do is maintain the semblance of what the rest of the community is like.
Oh, got it.
So to keep what you're doing consistent with what everybody else is doing, and the idea is not to be.
And another reason why I'm saying that is because as you know, I mean, I'm gonna be moving into this house, so there's a lot of traffic going through.
Yeah,
and a lot of big trucks.
I get it.
And, you know, that was why, like, you know, my wife and I were talking, hey, you know.
Yeah, you got Trap Rock right over
Yeah,
here.
pretty much. I mean, Trap Rock is my back neighbor.
Yeah.
Because that property goes like 8 acres and it goes like all the way
Yeah.
to the back.
So typically, and we've had a lot of conversations about this. Typically, fencing in the front of a property like this, the fence has to be behind the front elevation of the house, so that the front elevation is proud to the street.
Yeah, to show off the house. pretty much.
Right.
Right.
So
That wasn't-
I understand the privacy noise, we get that all the time, but, you know, it's about maintaining community and making sure that the district itself is maintained.
Got it. All right.
So, so far, what the conversation is a conditional approval, with the condition that there's a resubmission with the additional details for the front steps and porch, site plan showing condensers and other, any site utilities, and then, is there anything else you wanted to see?
I don't think so, I think it's just for the front steps.
Did you want any, like, faux chimneys up top or anything.
If they're not there now, you didn't demolish them, right?
No.
If they're not there now, there's no point of recreating them.
Okay.
And then that brings me, I mean, sorry. If I wanted to add a chimney,
Let's come back.
I have to come back over here. Because we're also considering the option, but I'm like,
Yeah, the ones I was actually mentioning were like, they're fake.
No, and I mean, if I was to build a chimney, I would build it with like block and brick and all that. I would do it
Make it a
like,
fireplace.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and then bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, because there was probably, you can actually kind of see through the trees.
Yeah.
There's a set here and there's a set
Yeah.
here, and those chimneys were not, I'm surprised they're actually demolished, because they're actually also providing shear resistance to the wood
Right.
framing. So those were actually integral to the way they thought about the structure of the house.
Yeah, they're built in the.
So with them gone,
Can I see that?
Well, that's why I'm getting back to the idea, the whole house has to get plywood, and there's my shear, because there isn't anything here right now. Yeah.
Okay, with two things.
How did they build that, like back in the day, because on the basement, you kind of like you have the fieldstone wall, because that's what they did, you know, fieldstone with mortar,
yes.
and then, like, it bumps out like like a foot and a half, like with like a big stone, and then it looks like they built it up from there on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
It's
corbel.
called corbelling, yeah.
Oh.
So they basically use the cantilever of each successive set to transfer the weight down. What you'll actually see a lot in these houses, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was in this house, is that when you get to the attic, the chimney would shift over so that the front of the house looks symmetrical. So like the fireplace is where the fireplace needs to be, but then they move the chimney over through corbelling to get it where it wants to be aesthetically for, you know. I mean, it's kind of like an Italianate vernacular house, and it would have those bookends. Okay. I'm running out of steam. Any more questions or comments?
This is 1, 2, and the landing. Whatever.
Any questions, Ed?
No questions.
Pat, you good?
No, I think we
They covered
All
everything.
right.
covered everything with that.
Any questions or comments from the public? Did you bring this whole crew? They're very interested.
I'm
voting for the copper, I love that. Sounds beautiful, go for it, yes, Mr.
They
Central Building.
eliminated a step.
All right. So with that, I think the conversation is a conditional approval with resubmission, with showing the details for how the stairs and the porch are going to be done, with site plan showing locations of condensers and all that good stuff. And
Is
then
that, are they coming back here, or they giving it to me?
they're giving it to you for confirmation.
Okay, good.
So it's going to come with their permit submission, and you're going to hold the permit until I verify.
Until you, that's,
Appreciate that.
Oh, and another part of my condition was that paneled shutters on the ground floor, because that's historically accurate.
Anything for the basement windows? I don't know.
You're asking now, we're in the middle of
I hear you.
here, and then, yeah.
As you mentioned, windows.
We don't have an official motion yet.
No, I'm just saying.
What are you doing with the basement windows?
We're putting them in as windows that are there. They're not jealousy windows, but small slider windows that are going to be in there.
Like hopper windows?
Yeah.
Come in.
Nah, hoppers are the worst. You need to do sliders.
Sliders?
The problem with sliders is they only get half the window.
Getting
You have the window
window.
and you got that seam in the middle.
All right, cool. So we'll see those with the resubmission package as well, because we'll get your final permit package. So that's my motion, I guess. Anybody want to make
One
that?
page of it.
I'll second it.
All right, so motion made, second report. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we'll look forward